Hey YouTube, Munson here. I just wanted to do a quick video in response to a couple videos that I had seen regarding a water leak in vehicles on the passenger side. I did a lot of research, couldn't really find anything significant that would help me out. I know there's a lot of different issues that people have, whether it was a windshield leak, air conditioner, some kind of seal, etc., etc. But I ran through the full gamut of ideas and things that I could think of to try to find out where this water was leaking, and just couldn't do it. I finally narrowed it down, or at least thought I had narrowed it down, to the air condition, maybe the evaporator core, clogged drain tube from the condensation, etc., etc. That happens a lot in this 2008 Ford Expedition that we have. It is extremely difficult to get to that drain tube. Ford did not run a tube that goes down outside under the vehicle. It simply stops at the end of the firewall, and it is very, very hard to get to. So I still thought that that's what it was. I couldn't get anything to the tube initially to check to see if I could just puncture a clog or something like that, and the water would drain out. So I was like, well, I'll do what any good shade tree mechanic would do, and I'll go ahead and pull the dash, the steering wheel, move the seats back, move the console out the way, all that good stuff, and I'll pull the plenum chamber where all the HVAC stuff is located. And as you can see, here we go. This is what it looks like. And I got to this point after about 5 hours of getting the dash and the console and everything out. And I just had an awful time with getting this black box out of here. So I started looking at alternate means of what could possibly be the cause for this water that's in our passenger side floor on the driver's side or in the front. This track right here, the threshold, would just be filled with water. You can see it's about an inch deep or so, maybe about 3 inches wide, and it runs all the way from the front to the back. And it was filled with water where the edge of the carpet touches it. The carpet was just wicking it up toward the transmission well area. But I still thought that I had maybe an evaporator issue or some kind of condensation leak. So finally, after tinkering with this thing for hours, I just couldn't get it out because the heater core lines and the evaporator core lines were all coming through. Heater core didn't scare me that much because I knew I could pinch those off or clamp them off and not have to drain my coolant or anything like that. The evaporator lines for the AC, I have no experience with that except getting a little bottle from Walmart or Advanced Auto or somewhere like that, and maybe recharging the system on such an old vehicle. Doing some research on it, you have to discharge the system or bring it into negative pressure, all that stuff, and I just don't have the capability to do that. I'm very confident with a lot of things, and I've fixed a lot of things, but AC is just one that I don't mess with. Same with transmission. But everything else I'm pretty confident with. But getting back to the drain tube from this plenum chamber right here, I was finally able to reach it under the hood. I had to tear away a little bit of the firewall insulation to get to it. I was like, I wanted to put my air hose nozzle in it to try to blow it out because I know that's very common. I just could not get in there, didn't have the room. I mean, this thing was almost behind the center of the engine, just a little bit to the passenger side. But I did take a fish tape. I have one of those. I was able to get a fish tape in there, luckily, and I was thanking God that I was able to get it in there. I was like, here we go. I'm going to dislodge whatever's clogging this tube. Ran it out. Probably went in there a foot or more. Pulled it out. It was dry as a bone. No trash. Nothing was on that fish tape at all. So then I was like, man, it's got to be something else then. Maybe there's no water in this thing at all. One thing that I did know, and my wife knew as well, for the last couple months, we've been calling her Expedition the aquarium car, because in the back door on the passenger side, there's been some water in the door. Okay, fairly common, not that bad. I was looking at it earlier, and again, here's the track, or the channel, right here, with the wiring harness, wiring bundles in there. It goes all the way from the front over to the back. There wasn't much water in here. It was a little bit damp, but still, I knew it was all connected, and the front of the vehicle does lean down a little bit. So I was trying to put two and two together, looked at a couple more videos, did a little more research. It could be a windshield leak, could be a sunroof leak, could be this, could be that. So I closed the doors, put the water hose on top, rigged it up there, and turned the water on, got inside the vehicle with the doors closed, and started looking and didn't see anything. Obviously, I could hear water draining, all that stuff, but I never saw anything enter that channel, never saw any kind of drips, nothing at all in the front or the back. So then I got discouraged again. Well, I kept on with that, and I started looking again, and I went back to that back door, and I was like, you know what? Water, that much water in the door just is not normal. And I know a lot of people with F-150s, Expeditions, maybe other vehicles as well, have had that same issue. So I looked at a couple more videos. There are some little tabs or some little seals that are on the bottom of these doors, and I'm gonna show them to you. And after so many years, 12 years in particular for this vehicle, now that it's 2020, and you can see these little tabs right here. Now these tabs are made to stay in place. Generally they do. They're still vented to where they will drain water. If you see right there, they'll still drain water through them. And there's other ways that water escapes from the door, but after so many years of dirt, debris, and other things, they just get clogged up. Well, I took those tabs off, and I mean, it looked to me like about a gallon of water came out of the door. Probably not that much, but it was significant. But I was like, how in the world can the water level be lower? This tab is lower. It's even with the vehicle right here. I feel like water was getting in from right here. So I was looking at that, and I think there was so much water in there. I've come to this conclusion. I think that there was so much water built up in this door where it couldn't drain out that it eventually filled up, and it rose to this level right here, to one of these holes, and was spilling over, because before I took the door panel off, there was some water drops right here. And I think that water was spilling over, running out, and this is the same height as the channel right here. And I think that water was running in there because it was so full of water in the door. And then it was just running to the front of the vehicle. Once that channel completely filled up, carpet was touching it, did its natural thing, acted like a wick. And where the carpet was touching it right here, it was just wicking all that water out there. So I've completely dried it out. I've got my doors, all 4 of them now, flushed out really good as I could. And we're gonna see if that works. You know, I'll give it a few days, put everything back together, which I wish that I had done this first now, obviously. But I'll get everything put back together, make sure the air conditioner is on and running, and I'll keep a watch over it the next few weeks. And if that carpet's not wet, and if there's no water in that channel, then I'll know that's what it is. But anyway, I hope this helps, guys. I know that there are a lot of different instances out there, people with these kind of problems. I'm thankful that it's not the AC, because I was just having an awful time getting that out. I know, depending on where you are, some of the jobs to do, like evaporator cores, heater cores, and all that, can be $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. That's fine if we had to spend it, and I just really didn't want to. I wanted to try to do it myself. But I'm thankful that that's not what it is, and I hope that's not what it is. I hope it was just a simple clogged up door drain. After all this work, that's probably what it is. And still, I'm thankful for that. So hope it helps, because again, there's a lot of you out there who run into the same issue and you couldn't get a 100% answer. But take a look at your door drains, those little tabs, pull those off, make sure your doors are drained out, because it could very well be the same thing that I ran into, and it might just fix your problem. All right, guys, take care, and we'll talk to you again soon. See you.